logx is actually a crypto derivatives trading platform. It's a global platform, not restricted to Indian audience. Already in the 6 months, we have processed around $3 billion worth of trading volume. That's ballpark 25,000 crore Indian rupees. 3 years back in 2021, the prices of Bitcoin were really increasing. So you would find everybody around you talking about, hey, did you buy Bitcoin? Did you buy Ethereum, right? Such cycles happen every 3 to 4 years, right? For example, it's happening now in 2024 again after 2021.
Welcome to a new episode of Topper's Take. Today we have with us Mr. Anshu Agarwal, co-founder of logx. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So how did your journey start?
Sure. I'll maybe cover from where I was born and brought up, right? So I belong to this place called Bilaspur in Chhattisgarh.
Okay.
It's a pretty small town. Not a lot of people would have heard about it. So born there, brought up there. Then I did my engineering from BITS Pilani.
Okay, so you're an engineer.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Most of the people you would, I'm assuming most of the people you would interview would be engineers.
Our are engineers, yeah.
Yeah. So 2015 to 19, I was at BITS Pilani doing my engineering. Graduated in 2019, and then straight out of the college, I joined this company called Cred. Hopefully a lot of people, mostly your audience would have heard about it.
Yes.
So 2019 I joined, spent around 2.5 years as a product manager at Cred, and late 2021 is when I left. Me along with my co-founder, we both left our jobs and started this company, right?
logx.
Today it's logx. So we started as a different product. It was called Flint Money.
Flint Money.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea with Flint Money was to create a crypto neobank, right? So people are of course used to banking, but crypto provides a new paradigm in the financial space, right? And us being very crypto natives, we have been in crypto for almost 7 years now, since 2017.
Oh my God.
Very avid followers of the space, pretty passionate about all the tech innovations happening there. But yeah, having that context that we already had about crypto and the learnings that we built up at Cred, building a good consumer first fintech product, it was a good space for us to bring both of these learnings together and create a sort of a crypto neobank, one of the first of its kind for Indian audience specifically. And so we started Flint Money, which was about crypto neobanking in 2021. Launched the product early 2022 and ran it for around 6 to 8 months. We had a pretty good user base in India. Around 1 lakh users were using our app. But I mean, as you would know that, there is not a lot of regulatory clarity around operating crypto specifically for Indian audience. Okay. Right? While globally, of course, different countries have taken different stance and have different regulations, but in India specifically, the regulatory environment was not very supportive to operate a product specifically for the retail audience.
Okay.
So even with all the early success that we saw with Flint Money, we had to take this hard decision of shutting that product. Oh. And then we moved to building a different product. We have always wanted to continue building in crypto. But looking at the environment in India, we decided to go global and launched logx, which is the product we run today. Logx is actually a crypto derivatives trading platform. It's a global platform, not restricted to Indian audience.
Okay.
And this platform has been operational for around 6 months now. And has fortunately seen, touchwood, massive success already in the 6 months. We have processed around $3 billion worth of trading volume. That's ballpark 25,000 crore Indian rupees of trading volume, right? And majority of our audience is from countries like South Korea, Singapore, Japan, US, UK, right? So it's a truly global platform. People across the globe have been showing us a lot of love, and the platform is going pretty well. Right now, currently we are averaging around $100 million of trading volume per day. That's again roughly 850 crore Indian rupees per day.
That's a very
right?
huge number.
Yeah. So, I mean, that just gives you a glimpse of how big the global scale and the global markets are, right? In while being in India, I mean, because there is not a lot of regulatory clarity, people don't speak about it, and the masses, the general audience would feel that it's a pretty small industry and still very early. But if you actually step out and look at the global arena, you would figure out that the market is actually very, very huge. Right, and if you can really figure out good product offerings, then there's actually a very large market waiting out there for you to bring new offerings to the market and use your product. And the early success that we have seen with logx is sort of testament to the fact that this industry is going to stay and it's only going to grow further.
Okay. So when did you recognize this passion for crypto?
So as I mentioned, it was way back in 2017, right? So I'll tell you how it happened, right? When is just a small answer, is 2017, but it's more important to see how such shifts happen in mindsets, right? And it was, I'm pretty sure that when I got into crypto in 2017, it was not just me, a lot of people, right? So what happens is crypto, specifically Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., they go through these cycles, right? For example, around 3 years back in 2021, the prices of Bitcoin were really increasing. So you would find everybody around you talking about, hey, did you buy Bitcoin? Did you buy Ethereum? Right? Such cycles happen every 3 to 4 years, right? For example, it's happening now in 2024 again after 2021. Prior to 2021, it happened in 2017. Okay. I was still a student back then doing my engineering. But the sentiment was so strong when the prices were pumping that it just got me along with a few of my friends curious about, okay, what is Bitcoin, what is Ethereum. Honestly, I hadn't heard of Bitcoin prior to that. Okay. But just because there was this sentiment, there was this euphoria around people that, hey, something called Bitcoin is like increasing in price, so that really drew me to reading about what is Bitcoin. What exactly is it, right? And that led to me reading the white paper of Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto is actually the guy who invented Bitcoin back in 2009.
Okay.
Right. So he wrote a Bitcoin white paper, which is more like a research paper that details what exactly is Bitcoin, what is it supposed to do, why does it exist, right? In fact, he wrote that as an aftermath to the 2008 global financial crisis. He realized certain systemic issues with the global financial systems, which is largely controlled by central banks of nations, right? Primarily US, because that has been the pretty superpower in the financial arena for a while. So yeah, I mean, long story short, the crux of him inventing Bitcoin was that he wanted to have a decentralized form of money, which is not controlled by a centralized government or a bank, right? So yeah, fast forward to 2017 when the prices were increasing, and I mean between 9 and 17, during those 8 years, of course, a community had been forming around Bitcoin, right? Because a lot of people across the globe who got their hands on the white paper and got really inspired by the vision of Satoshi Nakamoto, they started contributing to the Bitcoin community, and that's how they sort of that's how cults are formed, right? You get really inspired by a particular vision, and then you tell about it to your friends, and then they also get inspired. That's how it grows, right? Yeah. So that led to, I mean, that thing happened for 8 years or so leading up to 2017. And I just happened to be one of those guys who read the white paper, got really inspired by what it was about. Okay. And once you go down that rabbit hole, there is no end. I mean, it's been now 7 years for me that I'm continuously learning more and more about crypto, and it's such a fast moving space. Crypto is just an asset asset class which just reflects the prices, but if you go into the depths of what is the technology behind it, what are the new innovations that are coming in that space. For example, Ethereum came around 2015. That was again a pretty good innovation in the decentralized computing space, right? So as you know, the technology is progressing, there is so much to learn, so much to work on. So yeah, this is pretty much how I got started, and ever since I've gotten my hands on that white paper, I don't think I've there has been a day where I've not thought about crypto, or what Satoshi's vision was.
So that's how your vision started.
Absolutely.
So what are the regulations India is right now facing regarding crypto market?
Sure. So I think the regulatory environment in India is still very evolving, I would say, still in very early phases, right? Our like the central bank, RBI, and the government is usually known for being very prudent with all the financial regulations that they bring, right? Not only in the crypto space, but in overall financial markets, fintech, etc., right? So we have usually found the government to be very careful about what financial instruments do they allow to be marketed, to be used by the retail audience in India. I think they have always taken a very protective stance towards the people, right? It's okay if a piece of technology arrives a couple of years later to the market, but what is not okay is misuse of the technology, or some false promises leading to financial losses for the masses, for the retail audience. So I think that is what the stance has been from the Indian government, which has led to certain regulatory environment. For example, in all fairness, the environment for the retail audience to trade crypto, buy, sell, whatever, has not been very conducive, I would say. Things like TDS on purchase of crypto, which is 1%. 1% is massive, right? 1% TDS just while purchasing the crypto is actually huge in the context of frequent trading. Apart from that, the other regulation that we have, which is around taxation, that whatever profits you make in crypto, they are taxed at 30%, and they cannot be offset against losses, right? So if let's say you buy a couple of coins, coin A you bought at 100, like you bought for 100 rupees, and now it's worth 150 rupees, and you bought coin B worth 100 rupees, which is, let's say, worth 80 rupees now. So even so you have made 50 rupees profit in coin A, 20 rupees loss in coin B. So the net tax you pay will not be 50 minus 20. I mean, the net tax you pay will not be on 50 minus 20. The net tax you'll pay will actually be on 50 only, right? The loss that you incurred is not offset by the 50 rupees profit, essentially, which is not how it happens in the usual, like the traditional stock markets, right? Whatever investments you make or whatever stocks you purchase, the losses are actually offset by the profits of it, right? So it's like no downside protection and like full taxation on whatever upside you make.
Okay.
So these are like pretty stringent environment, I would say. These are, I believe, some of the indirect ways to communicate that, look, this is not something that we have a lot of confidence on today, right? But given the reputation the government and the central bank has, particularly in India, I'm pretty sure they're actively working on some of these frameworks, and very soon I'm personally hopeful and expecting a pretty smoother regulation where the environment for trading or buying or holding crypto becomes very conducive for people, while having like proper prevention against abuse.
Okay, so you're from a very small town, from Chhattisgarh, and right now you're running a very huge global product. So how did that transition happen, and what makes logx different from the other crypto platforms?
Sure, it's a good question. Like thinking about how that transition happened, right? Of course, it's not an overnight stuff. It is something that first of all, it's I believe, I mean, God has been super kind,
Yes.
right? I've just been like, all I've tried to do at all steps in my life has been just to try to follow and pursue my curiosities and passion, right? So while being from a small town, I always had passion for, let's say, science, right? So made sure that I studied and got good marks.
Okay.
Was fortunate enough to get into a very good university, right? And once you get to a platform like good universities where you usually have people from all over the country, some of the brightest people, right? So these are the type of people you meet in colleges like BITS Pilani or even ITs for that matter, right? These are certain people who have been, some of the best students of their own countries. Sorry, I mean cities, right? The best students of their own neighborhoods of their cities and all. So you are sort of put in an environment where you are in the middle of a lot of good smart people. Right, so even if you are probably not smart enough, the average smartness around you is higher than where you are, right? So that continuously pushes you to learn more. You learn from them, their energy rubs off on you, right? So I think I mean, this particular phase of my life where I was being put in an environment where I had a lot of much smarter people than me around me, like really helped me, get a good feeling of, I mean, what is the world out there, right? It just got me exposed to a lot of new, diverse thought processes, diverse fields, while, education wise, we were studying engineering. But if you really look at some of the individuals out there, people were like really good at a lot of different things outside engineering. Right? For example, what I'm doing today probably has nothing to do with what I studied in my classes, right? But just being around people who are really following their own passion, they inspire you to follow your passion as well. They make you curious, right? And the moment you try to fulfill your curiosities, you just grow. So I think that's pretty much what I've followed over the past few years. And again, as while I was graduating from BITS Pilani, I was very fortunate again to be, to have gotten a chance to work at Cred since the early days. Again, one of the fastest growing companies in India, very well reputed, probably has the best talent pool in terms of, team members at Cred, right? Not a lot of startups in India, I would say, would have such a high density of smart people and with experience. Now, I mean, while in college, people around me were of my age, right? They were not professionals. But the moment I stepped into Cred, I saw people with 5 years, 10 years, 20 years of professional experience and being really, really good at their craft. So that was again another step change in my growth. Just learning from those people, probably 10x experience, I would say, than what I had in the college. So that particular experience really helped me, give confidence to dream big, I would say, because if you look at even the journey of Cred, to be honest, they have always dreamt big, right? I think that energy again, rubs off on you. So giving the confidence to dream big, making you capable enough of being able to, like do all the processes of running a big company, right? So being able to hire good people, being able to raise capital from the right investors, being able to be very strategically right about your decisions, being able to scale. These are like some of the different and very important aspects of running a company or a business that I pretty much got exposure to while I was at Cred. So I think by the time I was leaving Cred, I was honestly no longer a boy that grew up in Bilaspur in Chhattisgarh, right? It was a very different journey, very different personality.
You evolved.
Yeah, of course. I mean, individuals evolve, right? So I think once you get to that point, then you honestly are not thinking about where did you come from, right? You are only thinking about what's ahead, where do you want to go.
Yes.
And honestly, in the last 2.5 years of running Flint and logx as well, to be honest, I don't really remember what happened in the last 2.5 years. I can't even recall what I was doing. Today is what? Friday, right? I don't remember what I was doing last Friday, to be honest.
Okay. You only look forward.
Yeah, I mean, you're always thinking ahead, right? You're always thinking about what needs to be done today, tomorrow, in next 1 month, next 6 months, whatever, right? I honestly don't remember what I was doing last Friday because, and this is how I have been for the last 10 years or so, 9 to 10 years, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, I think this is how the transition has happened.
Okay.
Coming to your second question on how logx is actually different from other global products, right? A few things. I'll actually go into the nuances. I'm not really sure if the audience will enjoy learning about specific details about the business.
Okay.
But first of all, it's we operate in a decentralized finance space. Most of the crypto products that global crypto products that you would have heard of, like Binance or Coinbase, etc., these are centralized products,
Okay.
which means that the custody of the funds or the crypto that you buy on Binance stays with Binance. If Binance decides to shut off the platform and not let you access your funds will be gone. Essentially, this is what happened with FTX, right? When FTX blew up around 15 months back. So they operate in a centralized space. The market in the decentralized finance space is also evolving very fast now. And we operate in the decentralized space, right? So not a lot of players operate in decentralized finance, first of all. So that's one of the unique advantage and competitive edge that we have, that we cater to a very different type of audience relative to what others do. Within that as well, as I mentioned, we are a derivatives trading platform, right? And what we do is that we are a hybrid of our own exchange as well as a broker that plugs into other exchanges, right? So think of us as, if I were to compare to traditional finance, you have heard of Zerodha and you have heard of National Stock Exchange, right? So logx is a combination of both. We have our own brokerage platform that connects to other exchanges, as well as we have our own exchange as well. So our brokerage front end plugs into multiple exchanges with one of our own as well.
Okay.
Right? So whatever volumes we service, some of them go to other exchanges, some of them goes to our exchange. The reason why we do this is that so that we can offer our customers more than what our exchange already offers, right? For example, if logx as an exchange offers trading on, let's say, 10 trading pairs, but the user wants to trade on, let's say, 15 more, which is available on other exchange, instead of having the user go to other exchange, we keep them with us. We say that, look, trade from here only. I will give you the other trading pairs from other exchanges. The 10 that I support, trade with me. The others that I don't support, I'll bring you from others.
Okay.
Right? So what happens is that the traders get everything they want to trade on at one single place, instead of them having to go to 10 different exchanges, which nobody else is doing in this market, right? So that this particular uniqueness and differentiation has really helped us grow fast, because now every trader, whenever they would come to logx, they are assured that whatever they want to trade, they'll be able to trade, right? Which is not true for other exchanges, right? Because not everybody is offering everything. So I think this is one of the differentiation that has helped us grow fast, right? So if you look at the total market cap of let's say all the cryptocurrencies combined, it's roughly around $2 trillion. The daily options trading volume in the Indian stock market is the largest in the world. It's actually the amount of options traded in India is actually greater than even US, for example, right? So Indian markets are very evolved. There's a very famous saying in investments, right? It doesn't matter when did you get in. What matters is how long did you stay, right? So if let's say, I know a lot of people who actually bought Bitcoin back in 2011, 2012, when the prices were less than $100.
Okay.
Right? And once the prices became, let's say, $500, they sold. They were like, oh, I'm getting a 5x return. Today, that Bitcoin is at $55,000 as we are speaking, right? Roughly $50,000.